Hey Sam, did you read through Chapter 2 on reading Whitewater yet?
Yeah, I did. It's fascinating how much there is to learn about water behavior. Understanding the currents can really help avoid dangerous situations.
Absolutely. Let's start with the basics. Do you remember the terms for giving directions on a river?
Yep, we use river left, downstream, upstream, and river right. Upstream is where the water flows from, and downstream is where it flows to. River left and right are just right and left when facing downstream.
Perfect. Now, what about the flow in a straight section of the river? How does the current behave there?
In a straight section, the current is strongest in the middle and weakest near the banks. The main flow is away from the friction caused by the banks, so the surface layer just beneath the air moves the fastest.
Exactly. And what about helical flow?
Helical flow happens because the friction near the bank slows down the water, causing it to spiral. This can push swimmers away from the bank even if they're swimming strongly. It's easier to get ashore against this slow helical flow rather than where the powerful main flow sets into the bank.
Good. Now, let's move on to bends in the river. How does the current behave there?
On the outside of a bend, the water is deep and fast because the main current sets right into the bank. On the inside of a bend, it's slow and shallow. This causes erosion, creating undercut banks and overhanging trees, which can be hazardous.
Right. And what is an upstream and a downstream V?
Rocks just above or below the surface create a V shape on the water surface. An upstream V points towards where the water is coming from, indicating a rock. A downstream V points in the direction of the flow and usually shows the best route.
Excellent. How about eddies? What do you know about them?
Eddies form when water flows around an obstruction, causing a countercurrent in the opposite direction of the main flow. They're usually calm spots where we can rest or plan the next move. Eddies are crucial for navigating rapids by hopping from one to another.
Right, and what are eddy lines and zones?
An eddy line is the visible line between the main flow and the countercurrent. The eddy zone is where this line becomes less distinct and broader. In powerful rivers, this zone can be huge and full of swirls and boils.
Good. What about standing waves and stoppers?
Standing waves form where fast water hits a slower layer, creating waves that stay in place. They can be fun for surfing. Stoppers, or hydraulic jumps, occur when water flows over a drop, causing water to recirculate back. They can be dangerous, especially deep recirculating stoppers which are deceptively calm but powerful enough to hold a swimmer.
Exactly. Now, how would you describe the nature of different rivers?
Rivers can be high volume or low volume. High volume means water features like large stoppers and standing waves are the main hazards. Low volume rivers have more obstacles like rocks. Rivers can also be described as boulder gardens, pool drops, or rock slides, depending on their geological features.
Very thorough. What should we be aware of with changing water levels?
Rivers change dramatically with water levels. Low water makes rivers more technical but forgiving. High water can wash out rapids or make them harder, with faster and more powerful currents. Flood stages are extremely high risk and should only be attempted by very competent paddlers.
Exactly. Finally, what about big drops and waterfalls?
Any drop over 9 feet is considered a waterfall. Easy drops have deep, aerated plunge pools and straightforward approaches. Hard drops require technical skill and a cool head due to difficult approaches. Some drops are just too dangerous and should be avoided if the landing is poor or hazardous.
Excellent. Understanding these concepts is crucial for staying safe on the river. Keep studying and practicing, and you'll become a proficient whitewater paddler.
Thanks, Liz. I feel more confident now. Can't wait to put this knowledge to use on our next trip,